Hey guys, what's up? Snacky here today, bringing you a BF3 commentary. And today I'm going to be talking to you and showing you sort of how to fly the helicopters, specifically the attack helicopters, how to be effective in them, so like sort of from a team-based point of view, and also just how to, play really well, get lots of points, win, that sort of thing, good kill-death ratio, all that good stuff. So, as you can see here, I've already taken out Jet and a little MAV thingo. But as you would probably know if you've flown the jets, sorry, not the jets, the helicopters, if you've flown them quite a bit, you would know that the co-pilots will always come off best. The pilots will very, very rarely get more kills and points than the co-pilots. So because realistically, if as you can see, the rockets aren't really that effective unless you use like every single one and you're hitting the ground right around the person like that. Like you have to be right on target. Whereas the co-pilot, their primary weapon is very, very effective against like all ground troops. So really, when you're piloting, the best way to get points is take out vehicles, because your co-pilot, sure the gunner can be very effective against like tanks and not so much like Humvees and Growlers and that sort of thing, because they can be taken out that quickly that the co-pilot usually takes them out before the pilot even gets a chance. But tanks, LAVs, Tungska, all that sort of thing, that's really up to the pilot, because the co-pilot really can't do it alone, although you may get kills stolen and that sort of thing. But as I've said in other commentaries, best way to do it, be with a friend, be like with someone that you can talk to. I was lucky enough that this guy was in my squad, so you get those few extra points here and there just simply because he's in your squad. Because if you don't know, the squad bonus is always, so squad driver assist, there you go, I get 20 points every time. I get an extra 20 points every time he gets a kill, whereas I just get driver kill assist normally, which I think is maybe only 10 or something. So anyway, you get a few extra points if they're in your squad, which is always nice. And I'm going to warn you because this is going to be quite long, but yeah, so bear with me. But this is really the best way to fly the attack heli or the Viper on Kharg Island when you're playing brush. Conquest is a little bit more difficult, and there's a lot more factors to consider, because you've got more jets, you've got an enemy helicopter to verse, and there's always tanks, and people laser designate you from the tank, and then they've got guarded shells and all that sort of thing, which you basically can't do anything about except duck behind a mountain, but that's pretty hard to do. So really, you got to make the most of when you first get up in the helicopter, because it's not until you start killing people a few times and start annoying people that they're going to pull out, that they're going to go engineer and they're going to pull out the the Igla or the Stinger. So you really got to make the most of that first couple of minutes when you get up, especially in rush. So because once you start killing a few people and you're just around in the air for a little while, they are going to go engineer, and you're constantly going to be getting locked on to, as you can see here. Whereas when I got up, I don't think anyone locked onto us for 2 or 3 minutes. So that sort of thing is really important to consider. And also just spotting, mash your spot button. So whenever I'm flying, I'm basically just constantly mashing the select button. And you as co-pilot or pilot should be doing that. And it's just a good tip generally. So as you can see, I go down there, but I get back in a little later. So really what you got to do is you've got to be right up in there spotting people so you can see exactly who you got to shoot at. And especially on some of the conquest maps when people can be like lost in amongst the buildings, or on Caspian border where you've got so many different trees and just stuff in the way, mashing your spot button is really the best option. I'm constantly doing it. You get it's not for the spot bonus because 10 points is like nothing, but it's really helpful for your teammates because even if you go down, they're going to know where the enemies are for a short period of time. And as you could see where I came straight up over the as I looked over to the horizon, I was mashing select button because I'm on PS3, and 5 or 6 guys just bang 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 all the way along the top. Our whole team sees exactly where they are on their mini maps, and that was great. So everyone knows exactly where they're at. They go, oh look, that's where I gotta shoot. Really handy, easy for you to see, especially in the heli, because often you're quite a fair way away, you can't really see, and especially like what I said about the conquest maps and all that sort of thing. So really, that sort of thing is important to consider. Also, don't be too worried about the jets when you're in the heli. I know I'm kind of getting a bit worried about them here, and I took down that one before, but usually, and this is from my experience, because I fly the helis quite a lot, and just from seeing other people get taken down and that sort of thing. When you're in the attack helicopter, don't really worry too much about the jets, unless the pilot of the jet is just some Top Gun, which you're going to lose out anyway. I wouldn't really bother about trying to take him out, because you can't lock onto them that easily because they just fly away using their afterburner and they're gone. Although they don't have afterburners in Rush, if you didn't know that. So jets in Conquest have afterburners. In Rush, they don't. I don't know if that's different on PC, like if you got 32-man Rush. But from where I stand, and definitely if you're on console, that's the way it works. So, yeah. But essentially, don't really bother with the jets because you're not really going to take him out. It's only one kill, and it takes quite a while because unless you've got someone else, like your teammate in the jet on their tail as well, you're not really going to be able to do it. Or if you've got a co-pilot or a pilot who has a laser designation thing, then it's perfect. Then it works out perfectly. So I know I'm kind of complaining about and saying don't do it, but he was kind of there, and I don't know, I wasn't getting any kills any other way, but I don't usually do that, and you can see, well, it kind of paid off in this game, but just don't do it, because it's a really bad example, but just don't, probably. So yeah, don't. I'm just gonna move on. This is getting just atrocious. So yeah, mash your spot button, because that's what I'm doing here, and you can see I'm constantly lighting them up, and because if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't see any of the guys in the building there, but because I am, I can spot out a few. Also, a few things to take note of with the spot. I'm pretty sure it's capped with like a spot sort of limit. You can't literally just spot every person on the team, even if you can see them, and even if you are mashing your spot button. I'm pretty sure it's capped to I don't know if it's 5 people per team or if it's just 5 people per person. Like I could spot 5 people, my co-pilot could spot another 5 or something like that. But it seems to be 5 or 6 around that sort of mark. It doesn't. You can't really ever see more people than that. Which it can be annoying, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it works, because I can often see guys running around and around and around, and it's the same when you're on the ground. as infantry, you will probably see it, and most of you will probably know what I'm talking about, because you can sit there as like a sniper or something. You might be recon like back on a hill, and you're just mashing your spot button and nothing's happening. This guy is not showing up on the map, and he's not getting the little orange thing above his head. So yeah, it's really handy though. It's very, very handy. If you're playing hardcore mode, from what I'm aware, I'm pretty sure they still pop up on the minimap. So I guess it's good from a sort of if they're in a close proximity to your teammates or where you are, then it's handy in hardcore. Although I think the little red dots go away quicker, and I know they don't appear on your HUD. So like that guy there, you can see his little thing was popping up. Pretty sure that doesn't happen in hardcore. You don't see them, but they do appear on the minimap, and you'll still get spot bonuses and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, really just try and avoid the pop flares. And as I said before, if you've got a buddy who's also running flares as co-pilot or pilot, whatever it is, if you're popping flares sort of simultaneously, you say, oh, okay, I'll take this one, and then I'll take that one, and you know if you've got flares ready or not, and you say, I've got mine back, or like, refilled, or you got some sort of code word, that's really, really the best way to go about it, because then you're going to know exactly what's going to happen. And also, don't be too stressed if you take a hit. A regular hit from like a launcher, so the Igla or the Stinger, either one of them is only going to put you on 55% health. Now that's not going to disable you, so you are still going to be able to fly properly. And if you're engineer, which you really should be, because if you're not in the heli, you're not going to be able to repair yourself. And one thing is to not rely on your co-pilot or the pilot to be NG. Like, don't rely on that, because most likely they won't be. I mean, sure, it's possible that they will be, but you always want to try and aim to be engineer when you're hopping in any sort of air transport vehicle, that sort of thing, because you're not going to be able to repair unless you're NG. Not so much for the jets, I guess, because I mean, you can land the jets, but you don't really get that opportunity. Usually you just get disabled, and that's the end of it. You either bail or you just go down with it. So, but that's the way it really works. And really just light up your targets. One thing you got to watch out for is that. Sorry, big rat. Threw me off. Okay, one thing to consider is that the stupid rat. Why is it in my house? Okay, one thing that you really need to think about and sort of consider is you need to remember, so as you can see here, you got 14 rockets as your primary weapon when you're piloting, right? And you need to be reloading, and most of you, I'm just going to presume that you don't have the auto loader. You need to make sure you're reloading, because you don't want to go in and have like one rocket left when there's some epic multi-kill and miss the epic multi-kill. You know what I mean? So you don't want to see, especially when you come up against a Tungsker, because every rocket counts against that thing, and the Tungsker is, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's overpowered, because it is. I mean, you hop in that thing and you can get a 20 kill streak in 3 or 4 minutes just like that, because nothing really can take out the Tungsker, especially on Noshar canals when you're defending. If you get in that thing, you can be in it the whole game easily. You can just whoop the other team. Their Venom stands no chance. Even if they've got the laser designation and the guided missile rocket thing in the little bird and NGs on the side, they're still going to get taken down. And yeah, the Tungsker just is massively overpowered. I'm not saying nerf it though. Don't nerf it, guys. Don't nerf it, because it's awesome. But yeah, the Tungster is overpowered, and when you come up against it in an attack helicopter, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably will soon, because you know that it's that overpowered, and it's just. I mean, I got a 40 kill streak in it without like barely even trying on Oshar Canals. Like I wasn't even up on the sort of little docking bay portside area. Like I wasn't even up there looking at the objective, like looking at the aircraft carrier and like basically spawn killing. I wasn't even doing that, and I got a 40 kill streak. I went 40-0 in about. It's probably only like a 7 or 8 minute game, so like it's that easy. It's probably the easiest possible way to get a 40 kill streak in Battlefield 3. And if you're getting kill streaks like that in Battlefield, that's pretty good. You get a kill streak like that in COD, it's like meh, you just got some epic kill streak reward. But in Battlefield, it's pretty good. Then again, it was only the Tungster, so I'm not saying like, oh, I got a 40 kill streak, bow down, but I'm just saying that's sort of how effective the Tungster is. Especially when you use it effectively, but you know, a good pilot of the Viper, so in like Wake Island, yeah, just Wake Island really, a good pilot, and maybe some of the other Conquest maps, they have anti-air things, depends if you're on PC or not, because obviously you've got the larger maps, you've got more vehicles, that sort of thing, but primarily on Wake Island, I guess, for Rush and Conquest, a good pilot and co-pilot in the Viper can easily take down a Tungster. You just got to know how to do it right. So really, you gotta get down, and I tend to fly very low. Like that's the way I get away and get out of most tough situations and that sort of thing. Especially when the Tungster's around, whatever. All you gotta do is fly pretty low, and that was a massive blowout. Don't judge me. But you just gotta fly low. You just gotta get down low, and you know, as you can see here, just you know, barely flying above the ground. I don't know why, but some of my co-pilots like freak out. Mr. Rando, yeah, talking to you. He like freaks out every time I fly low. It's really funny, but yeah, you gotta get down low, and that's really how you're gonna avoid all the rockets and stuff. Because you know, if you can get between some buildings or behind like a little hill, that sort of thing, you're going to A, not be able to be locked onto, and B, the rockets are gonna hit stuff, be wayward, or just flying away generally is gonna give you time for the flares to reload and that sort of thing. So generally that's the safest option, I guess, because usually if you try and stick it out, you get hit, and that happens. Like, I really think that's a stupid glitch, because as you could see there, the Viper didn't explode, like it didn't blow up. I just got killed, because that would normally put you on 55% health, like end of story, 55% health in the Viper, and you could fly away because you're not disabled, and go off and repair / maintenance kicks in and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, that sort of stupid glitch happens where you get killed and the Viper just falls. So I'm pretty sure my co-pilot just fell to his death there, because you know, I just got killed randomly, even though the actual thing didn't blow up. So that sort of thing is annoying. Also, don't bother trying to take down jets when you're in a tank, because the amount of times I've hit a jet with a tank shell directly, gotten a hit marker, not even like it doesn't even disable it, and I really think that's stupid. Like, as if a jet is going to be able to like survive, not even be disabled by a tank shell hitting it. Like, and it occasionally happens with like the other helis, but that's not such a big deal because it's quite rare for it to happen with the helis. And you know, the helis are obviously going to have a bit more armor and that sort of thing. So from a realistic perspective, the jet thing is a lot more, you know, stupid and whatever. So that's really pretty much it, guys. That's really how to have sort of a fun game, because I really like flying the helicopters. I mean, not usually because I go that great, because when you're piloting, you know that it gets pretty tough and it gets pretty annoying when your co-pilot steals all your kills. I was flying and Ando was co-pilot one time. He went 32 and like 1, and I went like 8 and 0, you know, and came like 6th, and he obliterated everyone and came first on the scoreboard. So I don't know. I'm not complaining, but that's essentially how it all works and pans out in the world of sort of battlefield piloting and all that sort of thing. So I hope this helped you out, just generally as well, with the spotting and all that sort of thing. Let me know if you want me to do more tactical things. I know it's long, but that's sort of the way battlefield games are, and I already cut this clip down quite a bit. So yeah, I will see you guys later. I might go hunt down this rat. So yeah, catch you guys later. Like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. Thanks for watching.